8 days until the NFL draft. 8 days. Where in God's name did the offseason go? 8 days until we find out. And by the way, I went back and we were going to go over that presser, that fireside chat that Nick Sirianni and the doorman and Mr. Howie Roseman had yesterday, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. Some stuff in there that I heard and saw differently than many other people, obviously. Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. 8 days. I loved what he said, though, and I think how he has a great handle on the draft. We got 23 guys that we would draft right now, and we're pretty sold on the guys that we have. We have 23 dudes that we are sold on that we would draft. Now, obviously, the evaluation becomes tricky as you get down to 23 because then you make a collective thought process. Do I go up to get a guy, or do I trade down to get another pick and the guy we want or the guy that resembles? I think he's in a pretty good place on finding a good player. Now, I don't know if you're going to find an exceptional player. I look at this draft, and I would give this draft a B+. I think it's a pretty good draft. I don't think it's exceptional, but I think it's a pretty good draft. It's a draft that you could do maneuvering, and I think after 15, you could probably get a guy you want by moving down and picking up another pick, maybe for next year, where the draft is expected to be a little bit better in multiple positions and not just say the quarterback position. Rasputin, I love that pick. Sadiq to the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to replace Travis Kelce. That could be a pick where Kansas City moves up and gets him for Mahomes. Sadiq, we said on March 2nd in our first initial draft. Tomorrow, we're going to do our last mock draft. So that will be tomorrow. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the presser. By the way, okay, Battle Royale today at 4:30. So we appreciate all of you. Hit the like button. As I said, I think this draft is going to be pretty telling. And what direction they're going to go. I think that you're going to be able to find out where and what they're going to do with A.J. Brown. I think that's going to tell us a lot. And I think we're going to be able to see where the Eagles are going to want to do. And that's pretty much try to get cheaper on the offensive side. All right, guys, do me a favor. Hit the like button. And we're going to start it off as we did breaking down that presser yesterday. So let's start here. Nick Sirianni said his job was to get the best coaches and get the best training and the best they possibly could for player development. How do you think that's gone with how they've developed Jalen Hurts over the last 3 years? How do you think they've done developing? He said at that presser, our job is to get the best coaches possible for our players in player development. How do you think that's been when it comes to Jalen Hurts? Last 2 years, I'm not talking about team accomplishments. I'm talking about player and developing Jalen Hurts as a ball player. I'm not talking about winning as a group. I'm talking about player development. Developing Jalen Hurts as a player that's getting better and better and better every year. How do you think they've done in developing that player? By the way, I'm taking direct quotes from the presser yesterday. How many people think that they've done a great job at developing him? He's regressed. He has. The last 2 years, the quarterback has regressed. Sills, is that the coaches or the player? Well, wait. I'm not saying. I'm asking. Pietas, Nick Sirianni said at the presser, his job was to put the best players around every single guy on the football team and player development. How do you think the Eagles have developed them? I'm asking you guys a question. Little Susie, little Johnny tickets for bucks. 840, you might as well go to Buffalo Wild Wings for 40 bucks. I like it. Kyle. Big Sills, I told Zander this, and I want to tell you the same. I'm a double amputee, so I get bored out of my mind. Thank you so much for keeping me entertained. By the way, agree with you guys. Jerry, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's quite a compliment. And I'm privileged to be able to talk some sports, and I'm glad that you love it. Really. It's truly a great honor. Thank you, my friend. It's really cool. And I thank you. And by the way, it's sports talk, so nobody gets bent out of shape. You know what I mean, Jer? Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask one more time. Okay? Listen, it doesn't matter what Jalen does, Sills. We'll always move the goalpost. Get this. I'm asking a question on what Sirianni answered yesterday, and this guy says I moved the goalpost. I'm asking you about what he answered, a question in the pit. He was asked, do you think, and I'm asking you, the last 2 years, how well do you think that they have developed the quarterback? As a personal player, not as a team, as the player. How do you think they've done developing Hurts as a quarterback? It's not a goalpost move. We're answering the question he answered. Okay? Sills, these idiots move the goalpost all the time. Correct. I'm not moving shit. I'm asking a question. The coaches that have left have mostly been successful. Really? Jonathan Gannon just got fired. Shane Steichen's on the cusp of getting fired. Who else? Who else has been successful? Is Kellen? He looks kind of like he's turning the Saints around. What other coach has left here and gone on to be successful in Sirianni's so-called coaching tree? Who? I'm just curious. Okay? What do you think? How come nobody answers these questions? Since Saquon Barkley has showed up in Philadelphia, it's been a completely different. How about this? Do you guys agree that since Saquon Barkley has shown up, it's a completely different Jalen Hurts? So I'm asking you, get this. You tell me. How have they developed the quarterback as a player the last 2 years? Let's see. Anybody that has a common sense. By the way, the offense has been brutal the last 2 years. So M. Reyes says B+. Let's take a look at that. Folks, this is player development since Saquon Barkley showed up. This is what he calls a B+ the last 2 years. The Philadelphia Eagles passing game in the last 2 years in passing yards is 18th. Attempts, it's 19th. Completions, it's 18th. Touchdowns, it's 15th. And yards per game, it's 24th. He says it's B+. What do you guys think? The last 2 years, the player development with a coach who never called offensive plays, and now you hired another one. I was told at that presser yesterday they hired the best coaches they possibly can for player development. Passing yards the last 2 years, they're 18th. Attempts, they're 19th. Completions, they're 18th. TDs, they're 15th. And yards per game, they're 24th. These are horrific numbers. By the way, this is not a down year. This is 31 ball games. 31 ball games. How do you think the player development, according to Nick Sirianni, has done the last 2 years? I say that's a D+. Hiring nobody coaches and an offense that can't get out of its own way. I don't know. Player development? You ain't developing Hurts the last 2 years. Last 2 years, the offense has been terrible. This is why they've ripped it apart. 31 ball games in the last 2 years. How do you think they've player developed? Since Saquon Barkley. How do you think that he has been as a player the last 2 years? The only actual development that's happened for players is on defense. Very good, and I agree. Hurts has not been developed since 22 or 23. Since 24, the offense is handoff Barkley. Deep ball, correct. They've not developed him. So that's a freaking lie when they were at the presser yesterday. And Nick said that their number one objective is to make sure they put the best coaches. How about this? Do you think they've put the best coaches around? Do you believe they've put the best coaches around Jalen Hurts the last 2 years? Yes or no? Do you? Sills, I was in a heated debate today at the barbershop. I needed your help. With Hurts' resume in the NFL, why is he so undervalued by many in the media? He has a ring and has beat all the top quarterbacks because he's been on a great football team. And when people see his skill set, it's nowhere near the other's skill set. Jalen Hurts, compared to the other quarterbacks in the league, is not at the same level as Herbert or any of these other guys. He's on a better football team, plain and simple. But I will say this. Hurts takes advantage of the talent around him where a lot of guys can't. Lamar Jackson has been in a good football organization his entire football career. His excuses on winning, he's got to win. Now, the quarterbacks are better in that conference, but I don't think the teams are better. That is a quarterback-driven conference, the AFC. And I think there's better resumes of football teams in the NFC. Let's see. You turds love throwing the word developed around like it means anything, means nothing. Teams try to win games, plain and simple. That's a fucking dumb take, especially when you heard a whole 30-minute press conference yesterday on Howie Roseman talking about developing players. You have no idea what you're talking about. An idiot would make that comment. An idiot. Sills, what are the odds Hurts can actually run the West Coast passing attack? 10%. I don't see it. If the running game takes off again, we'll be fine. Correct. If your running attack gets back into the top 5, you're going to win a lot of games. And it'll be a year of Barkley again. If you're hanging around where you were a year ago, you're going to be in the same exact place that you were a year ago. They tried to institute motion passing the past 5 years and went away from it every year. Why do you think that's on? Who do you think that's on? I think that's on the quarterback. And Herbert is undefeated against the Eagles. Jalen couldn't do it with less, and others are making it look easy. If the Bills wanted 3 number ones and Hurts for Josh Allen, Howie couldn't say yes fast enough. Of course. Nobody under their right mind would ever put that conversation except for idiots. All right, so we agree. They haven't put the best coaches around Jalen Hurts the last 2 years. The last 2 years, get this. You ready for this? Here's again, the last 2 years. Your passing offense. 18th in passing yards. 19th in attempts. 18th in completions. 15th in TDs. And 24th in yards per game. That's your passing offense. And if you don't have a running game and you have to rely on your passing attack, you can't. Because you know why? It's one of the worst passing teams in pro football. By the way, that's 31 games. So let's go to the next one. So this is Howie Roseman in what he said. By the way, guys, please hit the like button. We appreciate you. Howie Roseman said, first round picks, you're hoping to get 8 to 10 years out of first round draft choices. Let's take a look at that. Eagles. Let's see. There we go. Go here, here. And let's take a look at this. Howie Roseman's exact words. When you draft a guy, you're looking for a dude that's 8 to 10 years. When it comes to drafting. So let me go here again. Let's see. Howie Roseman. Let's go down here. Pick this up. So going here. Howie General Manager 2010 to 2014. And then obviously 15 to present. So since 2010, really. So let's take a look at Howie and how Howie's done as a drafter in the first round. So let's go here. 2010. Let's take a look at how he's hit. Brandon Graham. Tremendous. Brandon Graham. Hit. 8 to 10 years. Perfect. Danny Watkins. First round pick. Bust. 23rd pick overall. What was Brandon? 13th. Okay. It's 1 for 1. Fletcher Cox, grand slam. Cox was the 12th pick. Lane Johnson, grand slam. Marcus Smith, bust. He was the 26th pick. Nelson Aguilar. What do you make of Nelson Aguilar? Was he a bust? Was Nelson Aguilar a bust? Yes or no? Let's see. Did he play 10 years for you? Did he play 8 to 10 years? Nelson Aguilar. 149 games. How many years did he play for the Eagles? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years. I don't really think that's a bust. I don't think it's a hit. So I'm going to put him in the middle as okay. Not a bust. 5 years. Howie said he wants 8 to 10 years for his first round picks. By the way, I'm taking this on what he said yesterday and what he said. So 5 years is not awful. You know, it's not his standard. But for a first round pick, it kind of floats in the bust range. But I don't really think 5 years in 136 ball games, 149 games, I don't think that's a bust. So I'm going to put him in the middle. Carson Wentz, that's not a bust. It's actually a great pick. Derek Barnett, I don't think it's a bust. 14th pick overall. It's not a bust, but it's not a grand slam. And I don't believe he played 8 years. He may have. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. $34 sacks in 50 games. That's pretty good. 34 sacks in 50 games. And he played in 112 games and had 50 starts. So he was never really a starter. For the 14th pick, it's underachieving, but it's been productive. So again, I'm going to put him in that conversation there with Nelson Aguilar and put Derek Barnett in that Nelson Aguilar. Or I don't think that's a bust. Okay? I don't think that's a bust. I mean, 34 sacks in 50 games started. I don't know. I don't think that's terrible. Actually, more productive than I actually thought. So not god awful. So here, we're at the Derek Barnett. Andre Dillard, complete bust. Jalen Reagor, complete bust. Devontae Smith, hit. Jordan Davis, hit. Carter. Quinion. And we'll wait and see on Campbell. So since 2010, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hits. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 busts. And 2 dudes that you would put in the middle. Howie's been pretty good at drafting first-round picks. That's pretty good. That's a good record of drafting in the first round. And really, what really seems to me is that the higher the pick, the better he is. The lower the pick, the worse he is. So when he's down in these 20s right now, he seems to have hit or miss. But when he's up there between 9 and 13, 9 and 14, he seems to have a really good, again, a good understanding of the draft board. So, absolutely. So, he's been pretty good. But here's, again, his idea of a draft pick is 8 to 10. So, Nolan Smith. Yes, Pietas. Absolutely. Okay? Dude, once again, this guy completely misses this. If you compare Super Bowls, Hurts was more efficient in his 2 Super Bowls. Darnold was carried all year by an elite defense. Jalen Hurts was carried the entire season in 24 by an iconic run game. And when you had to throw the ball on a consistent basis like you did a year ago, you failed. And that's why they're changing the offense. And by the way, if you want to go the last 3 years, in Jalen Hurts' year in 2023, he had 24 turnovers in 17 ball games. Don't talk to me about playing well in 23. He was a turnover machine in 23. A complete turnover machine in 23. 15 picks and 9 fumbles in 17 ball games. You can slice it up any way you want. And that's why they took the ball out of his hands. Here we go. The whole Hurts carry narrative. He was. Dude, this is why you're changing the damn team. Paul, I don't know what else to say to you. Are you not watching what your organization is doing it? Paul, how can you give it a rest when everything they're doing this offseason is aimed at getting away from him? Here, and I'm going to tell you what he did. Howie at the presser yesterday. Throwing the ball on a consistent basis is not the key to winning Super Bowls. Your key to winning the Super Bowl in 2024 was running the ball, not throwing it. I'm not debating this. That's what happened. Hey, Sills, how sad is it that the Jalen Knights will always defer to the Super Bowl MVP award? That's where they get caught. The Super Bowl MVP award, quite frankly, doesn't mean shit on a player on how he plays on a consistent basis. It has no bearing. That's like saying Dexter Jackson. When Dexter Jackson won the Super Bowl MVP for the Buccaneers, he was some elite defensive back for the Bucs, and he was on his way to the Hall of Fame. When Dexter Jackson was just a cliff note in that Super Bowl. Or when you talk about, guys that have won that, like nobody would ever sit here and say Joe Flacco is one of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League. He won a Super Bowl MVP too. Or nobody's ever going to put in context that Jim Plunkett's one of the greatest players ever play. He won 2 Super Bowls and a Super Bowl MVP. That award doesn't mean how great you are. So it's absolutely, with an aging running back and a beat-up offensive line, Howie needs Hurts to step up and take pressure off the offense as a whole. If he can't do that, he's gone. Correct. That's exactly where they are. Hey, by the way, Jimbo, the Jalen Knights don't want to hear that. that if Jalen doesn't play well, they're moving off of him. I've already think they started the process. And you know why? You tell me this comment that he made yesterday. This is a direct quote. When he was asked the question about the articles that have been written by Tim McManus and Jeremy Fowler and Jeff McClain about them having to use the media to talk to Jalen Hurts, and said that they have to use the media to connect with him. You know what Howie's response was? It was kind of weird. I think that's completely unfair. Not to Jalen Hurts. It was unfair to the Eagle management team that they're being accused of not telling Jalen Hurts directly how they feel. They never disputed the story. Didn't you find that weird? They never disputed what was in those articles. Jimbo, they never disputed it. Everything that was written about Hurts not wanting to change, changing plays, not being coachable. Not one time did Howie dispute the articles. He actually validated it. He was more pissed off that the articles were aimed at the organization and then being accused of not talking to him directly. So at the end of the day, Howie wasn't pissed about the articles. He was pissed that they took a shot that they don't talk to Jalen directly. How about that? That's called distancing yourself. So many people in here don't read the tea leaves. No, it's because they don't want to, because they're ignorant. DFW, you've turned out to be excellent. I'll tell you this. No, they don't want. That's okay. They're going to fight to the end. DFW, it's like watching somebody drowned. That's what this is. This is like watching somebody drowned. Honestly, this story just reminds me of that viral Hurts video or photo where he's walking into the building and sees the guys on TV picked against the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. How about this? Like I said, think about that. You know, and I'll do it verbatim. Howie, there's been a lot of articles that have been written in recent days about Jalen Hurts. I was wondering your takeaways on how you looked at that. Quote, I think it's unfortunate, that we don't talk to players. We talk directly to players. If we have an issue, we talk to them. Nowhere in there did he dispute what was in those articles. He actually was more pissed off about the writers taking shots at the organization. Think of that. Nobody disputed it. Howie said, wait a minute. If you think we're not trying to talk to the guy and tell the guy what he needs to do, you would be mistaken. The crux of those articles were more about the character of the guy being coached, about what he's willing and not willing to do. Okay? Are they even allowed to talk to players right now? No, they're not. So people in here are suggesting that The coaches and the players are talking. Not until the 19th of April. 4 days. They've never even talked to the new offensive coordinator. I think Jalenites are upset because this is the only Eagle fan page where you can control the narrative about their boy. Keep up the amazing work, Sills. It's never bad content. All you got to do is just tell the truth. You see people in here how they're getting upset. Remember something. You want to upset somebody? Tell them the truth. Why most sports athletes don't like journalists or reporters, and they wonder athletes can be complete assholes. You should never trust a media person. That's a mistake by everyone that was upset with Diana Rossini. You're the ones that are shocked. I'm not shocked. Did I miss your super, my friend? I apologize. Yes, passing yards can be empty stats, but only for the quarterbacks that are good at passing the ball. Hurts' highest passing TD season was last year with 25. In the 6th year, that's staggering bad production. He's a terrible pocket passer. Plain and simple. Can't read defenses. He's limited in where he throws the ball, and he can't throw across the middle of the field. Doesn't spread the ball around to anybody but 2 guys. And you're telling me you think he's going to run a prolific West Coast Sean McVay / Matthew Stafford type offense? You're drunk. But I can't wait, and I pray they do that. Sills, with the stuff coming out with Bain, what's the earliest you're thinking he goes? I don't know. I think you do have to ask that question about that. I think you have to take that into consideration. Okay? I do. This turned into the hurt. No. That's not the case, guy. I'm answering questions, and I'm going over the questions that Howie and Nick had yesterday. And one of the big stories the last 2 weeks has been, first, wait a minute. First, we asked whether or not you think Nick puts the best players around Hurts. I say no, because he said player development. Then I asked the question, how well has Howie drafted for 8 to 10 players or 8 to 10-year players in the first round? That's his benchmark. I think he's done pretty good at it. Then we asked the question, okay, end of the day here, how come Howie didn't defend Jalen Hurts? Howie, I think it's unfair that we basically don't talk to our guys. We do. Never in any way did he dispute that article and what was in those articles about Jalen Hurts. Great time for Howie to make this change, because worst case scenario, if the season goes south quick, at least he will get a high pick and a great quarterback draft next year. Sills, if Sadiq is gone when the Eagles pick, do they draft the right tackle, or would you consider the kid out of Vanderbilt? If Sadiq is gone, I would trade down. I think you can get the same player at 27, 28 that you can at 23. Okay? Of course, it's the Hurt Show. Any football show in the city will focus on the quarterback. That's a good take. Eagles organization will flip things around quickly. They don't stand still. By the way, I agree. I thought the Eagles began the process of distancing themselves from Hurts. That was my takeaway. I mean, they're starting to distancing themselves. Still, as bad as the passing game was last year, actually last 2 years, we were only like 30 yards a game off from top 10 a play or two more games is the difference. This is 31 games I'm talking about. That's 31 games. That's just not 17 games. As a matter of fact, when you up the volume for the passing offense, it was higher turnover. When you lowered it, it became lower turnovers, obviously. When Jalen Hurts had to throw the ball at a high clip, what makes you think he could throw the ball at a high clip when he was a turnover machine in 23 in the first 4 games? Here. He was averaging 33 passes a game in 2023 and also in the beginning of the first 4 games. Here, we'll do this, and we'll go by what he did. Just so you think it's not personal or here, Jalen Hurts. (2023) season passing. Let's see. Hurts had 15 interceptions in that year. And he had 9 turnovers, 9 fumbles. That's 24 turnovers in 17 ball games. He had 6 more in the first 4 games. So you go here. That's 21 games. You add another 6. That's 30 turnovers in 21 ball games. Folks, that's reality. That's what it was. I mean, okay. 30 turnovers in 21 games when they upped the volume. Don't care what you say. That's horrible. I have a feeling all those Ohio State guys are not great like they are saying. Oh, I don't know about that. I think those guys have a great chance of being spectacular. Normal offenses today are 60% or more passing. The Eagles have not been and won in spite of that. Correct, because they've had a great run game. Without the great run game, they're lost. And outside of, look, I think he was great in 22. Guy was spectacular in 22. It's like this weird lens of analysts. We hold Hurts to impossible standards we couldn't hold any other quarterback to. Yeah, well, you do. Don't get it confused. Only people enjoying every single negative thing that you say towards our team is a quarterback fan. I don't sit here and placate to anybody, dude. How he dismissed the report, you're reading, that's not what he said. I went back and listened to it. How he was pissed off saying that well, I'll tell you what, Marshall, thank you very much. I disagree with you. How many people in here heard it this guy's way or heard him saying it was disappointing, the article, that we don't talk to our players directly? Man, I got to tell you, man, you're listening to what you want to hear, guy. That's why, again, holy shit. You hear Marshall? Marshall's trying to tell you that he dismissed the Jalen Hurts thing when he was talking more about talking to the players directly. That's not at all anything than how he answered that. Holy shit, Jalenite. That's how you heard that? That's not how he answered that. Holy shit. You heard it. You heard it that way. Oh my God. Wow. Holy shit. Hey, dude, did you hear him? Marshall just, listen, let me go back here. Hey, Duel, he said that he heard it a completely different way than the guy answered the question. And I'll give you another example of that. When they asked the question about A.J. Brown being on the team because Dontavian Wicks was on the team, they never answered the question. They answered it. We really like Dontavian Wicks. He looks like a big physical type guy. We liked him a lot when he was in Green Bay. He never answered the A.J. Brown part of the question. Holy shit. These guys will listen. Hey, they'll twist anything they want to make it sound the way they want it to sound. Holy shit. You got to be kidding me. Oh, hey, man. Hey, I mean, you're not understanding what I'm saying. Jalen hits an open guy one or two more times a game. We don't have a play called back or a receiver makes the catch. 30 yards is the difference. Dude, okay, if that's the case, Twiz, why are they changing everything up? Why are they getting completely away from everything they're going to do? The players you're signing, the players you're adding. Come on, dude. You can't be that blind. You cannot be that blind. God. So they're hiring possession wideouts. And who have they signed? Hollywood Brown might be some type of deep threat. Yes, JDS. We got a new thing called JDS. Jalen derangement syndrome. Correct. Okay. Yeah, you can't hear that Howie quote. I think Hurts is in a good place with the team considering his performance. Hurts is officially on notice. That's how I took it. I mean, wow. Hey, Duel. Hey, Duel. How about this guy? Hey, man. JDS is real. JDS is real. Unfair. And you guys thought it was about Hurts. No, it was about the organization not talking to their players. I think we talk to our players directly. Is the exact quote. Wait, Sills. There's still humans that believe AJ isn't going anywhere. Is it like it's that? Yeah, no, like that. He's not going anywhere. AJ Brown's not being traded. Sills, I slept on your great take yesterday. The Eagles are definitely building their receiver room like the Packers. It will help the novice Sean Mannion. Correct. They're building that entire offense the same way that the Packers passing game is. Yes. Yeah. Hey, Duel. Are you getting a load of something? Man. It was the front office telling the press they were miffed about the unspoken part being published. Hey, Rasputin. Oh, man. Says Howie should not have been the one answering about Hurts. It should have been answered. You're right. It should have been answered by the head coach. Why is Nick not answering that? It's his football team, I thought. If Hurts is still Howie's guy, then that is the ultimate trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Sills, these are the same idiots that if Bob Lang said Sills was a gay dinosaur, they probably believe. Of course they would. Are you crazy? Hey, of course they would, man. I believe anything. Sirianni barely said anything in that presser. Yeah, it was the Howie Roseman show. Dude, I wrote every quote down. I wrote every single quote down. And you guys heard something different. Or some of you did. Well, not some of you. The deniers. Wait, what do you call them, guys? What do you call them? Yeah. What did that? Election deniers. So this is like press conference deniers. Texas boy, keep gargling sacks, you Battle Royale at 4:30, my friends. Sills don't believe Jalen can't get better and prove Sills wrong. Well, he hasn't gotten better. Dude, explain this to me. You had two 1,000-yard receivers a year ago, correct? And your passing game was 23. In 2024, you won the Super Bowl. Your passing attack was 29th. So your guys are getting numbers, but your offense stinks in the passing game. What do you think is more important? As a unit, those guys getting their numbers or the offense moving the chains? The offense, here, watch this. Here, let's add this to the context of the offense of a year ago, too. And this will probably put you all to sleep here with this one, especially the JDSs. Okay? So, a year ago, we gave you all the numbers, and here's the most important one for your offense. Okay? We'll add this one now to the mix. Last year, on third down, you were 24th. You were at the bottom of the league in third down. You were terrible on 3 and outs. Terrible. You were 24th as a unit, 23rd as a passing team. And your running back. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna double check that because somebody made a comment in here about me saying that Saquon wasn't 35th in yards per carry. So let me go down here to stats and see what he exact was in yards per carry league-wise. So rushing, average. And I'm going to go, and I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 100 carries and not just 50 or whatever. So let's do 100 carries. Okay, there's 1, 2, Cook, 3 with Henry, 4 with Robinson, Corum 5, Hendrickson 6, Dobbins 7, Gibbs 8, Taylor 9, Swift, there's 11, Williams 12, Mason 13, Williams 14, there's Gainwell 15, there's Walker 16, there's Stevenson 18, there's the other back 19 with 180 carries, Washington, there's 20, there's the Steeler back 21, 22, Montgomery 23, Pollard 24, Rodriguez Washington 25, Hampton 26, Brown 27, Hall 28, White 29, NTN 30, Tracy 31, Jones 32, Chubb 33, Vidal 34, Wright? No, not Wright. Barkley. Barkley was the 35th back in pro football a year ago. 35th in yards per carry. So your offense was 24th in third down, and your running back was 35th in yards per carry. That's what your offense was. I mean, I'm not sure what the hell else to say here. This is what you were. Anybody who got something to say about my takes in this chat, line up next to Mark, and I can offer you a 5-finger discount as well, right in the eye. Y'all got that one? Y'all got that right? I got you, bro. I got you, boss. Saquon Barkley was 35th in yards per carry, with backs 120 or more carries. He was 35th. Here, one more too. And the rushing and the third down, they were 24th. Passing game was 23rd. I'm not sure what else to say here, guys. Those are facts. Jalen doesn't want to get better. His stats show that, which proves the article that came out about Hurts is true. He doesn't take coaching well. No, I don't think it's he doesn't take coaching well. He knows his limitations. And people who know their limitations are not going to do things to put themselves in a bad light. The takes were as bad as the gas prices. So wait, I guess we know why Stoutland got fired. Okay, so senor, everyone else is getting the benefit of the doubt that the offensive line was hurt, but Stoutland? Is that your point? Is that your point? Everyone else gets the benefit of the doubt that the O-line was injured. Barkley, Hurts, Nick, everyone. But Stoutland doesn't. Is that right? Stoutland doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. Is that right? So when you use that to get Jeff out, okay, make sure you use that same philosophy for everyone else. Rasputin, when 38-year-old John Elway and 36-year-old Bubby Brister have the same passing stats in a 14-12 Super Bowl season with a 2K rusher, the excuse for Hurts is dead. Sills, will Tanner McKee be dealt in this year's draft? If so, what pieces do you think Howie will play to benefit the organization moving forward? And what team could use McKee? Anybody could use McKee. I mean, I still think I'm not sure what he is yet. But the one thing we have not seen is that Tanner McKee, anytime he's really gotten into a offense, it's always been with backups. I don't think they took the offseason as serious before. Not conditioning and ready. Super Bowl hangover. That's not coaching? Hmm. Could be. Could be. Dolphins could use a quarterback. Sills, why would we waste a pick on a quarterback this year with McKee? Because you got to determine whether or not you're going to extend him. Are you going to extend Tanner McKee? Pretty funny how you people are here every day for this so-called nobody. I know. Isn't that funny? Hey, Jerry, don't worry about it, man. As a matter of fact, it just pisses him off more. It's all good, dude. Thank you, Jerry. It's all good, my friend. Why would you? So you're going to carry 3 quarterbacks that you're going to take 3 roster spots up? You're going to take 3 roster spots with guys who'll never play. Okay? And here, I would say this. I don't really know what his value would be. Like, you guys talking like 3rd round. I don't know about that. These are the conversations the Cowboys should be having with the 4 pathetic wins in 20 years. Correct. You shouldn't be changing shit. You're 50-18 over the last 4 years. What the hell are you doing all these changes for? I happen to agree with this take wholeheartedly. Funny, how come the Eagles themselves are acting like a 4-win team? Bringing all these new dudes in, going to trade A.J. Brown, changing the offense up. You know, you need to ask yourself the same question. Why are you acting like a 4-win team? Your benchmark's 11 wins when it comes to failure. And you're changing that for things you've never done with a coach who's never done it before. Make that make sense. Okay? I mean, make that make sense. How do you make that? You're right. You guys act like a 4-win team. Well, you do act like a 4-win team. And you are acting like a 4-win team. Well, we lost to a 3-win team. Start thinking AJ might not get traded. Yeah. In what world? If they don't trade him they're not going to trade him during the draft. Oh, you mean McKee? Maybe. This is what happens in Philly when they don't go far into playoffs. Not saying it's the right path, but it's true. High-ass standards. Well, you should have high-ass standards. Geno Smith had a better year, had a better season in Seattle than Darnold. Defense was better in 25 than 24. Geno had a bad year in Vegas, but who hasn't? So in the last 2 years, Sam Darnold is 14-3. You give Jalen Hurts the same bullshit, but you're not giving Darnold the fact that on 2 different teams, he's now officially in the regular season 28-6. And he's now 4-1 in postseason play, which makes it's 32-7. And he's thrown for 8,400 yards in 2 years and 60 touchdowns in 2 years. But that only applies with Hurts. I got it. Nussmeier's son should be drafted by Howie in the 3rd and take McKee. Does the Eagle offense get any better with or without AJ? Well, how could you think it would get better? Hurts is still the quarterback. Where has this team got better this season? And get this, Noah, here's what people will say, okay? It's April 15th. Okay, fair enough. It's April 15th. Where are you going to get better? Noah, what's the opening game? It's September 9th. This year, it's September 9th in Seattle, Wednesday night. Okay? Wednesday night. It's in September 9th and then the 10th. Okay? All the way up until September 10th. Where have you gotten better on your football team? Gotcha, Leon. Let's see here. Here we go. I think that AJ post from last year, quietly withdraw, was about Jalen. Think about it. Makes sense now, especially with all these reports. Dude, AJ may be a guy who's talking all kinds of shit. But at the end of the day, AJ's not been wrong. This is a great question. Sills, what is acceptable amount of yards in a season for a run-first offense? Fair enough. Let's take a look at this. Let's see. Let's pick a team that's a run-first offense. Would you guys think that let's see. Baltimore? Let's pick Baltimore. See a full season in Baltimore. So let's go Baltimore. Derrick Henry, run first. Let's see. So let's go Lamar. And let's take a look at Lamar Jackson. It's a run first offense. Let's see here. Played 13th, but let's go full season, 17 games. So he threw for 4,100 yards, 41-72. He had 41 TDs and 4 picks. What did he do rushing that year? Let's see. Rushing. He had 915 yards rushing. What did Derrick Henry do in 2024, the Super Bowl season? Let's take a look at that. 2024 regular season. Derrick Henry had 1,900 yards. 1921, 6 yards a carry, and 17 touchdowns. I don't know. How's that number? I mean, 41-72, 41 TDs, 4 picks. And the back had $2,000. I don't know. Here. Derek Gunn, this latest to come out among all saying the same thing about Hurts, but nobody believes it. Please make sense of it. They don't want to believe it. Nobody wants to believe it. Because, again, Hurts has turned into a fan favorite. So I truly believe the Jalen Hurts show is coming to an end. I just remember the days of Roman Gabriel in the ugly 70s. I just pray Howie isn't shooting himself in the foot. Well, do you have more faith than Howie rebuilding the team? I do. He's proven it. Howie's proven it. Calling it now. Eagles will win 5 to 6 games. Then next year, the team will be totally revamped like after 2020. All over again. Head coach fired, quarterback change, etc. It's coming. Sure looks it. Sure looks it. Nobody wanted to believe it on Wentz either. This is a big year for Hurts because that will finally change. If that's the numbers that we need, I don't think you need to be $4,000. I don't. I think if you're somewhere around 3,500 and Barkley's around 1,700, I think you can win a lot of football games because you have Fangio on the other side. Where the Eagles are better than Baltimore, it's on the defensive side with Fangio. We are switching to West Coast offense. Any chance Gruden comes in next year if Nick is blown out? No chance because of the head of the owner. Owner couldn't withstand questions being asked about the emails in John Gruden. That would never fly. Wentz's problem was more than health. Here's my opinion, Jason, on Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz was a front runner. Things were great. He was great. When things went south, he had no answers. And that was for his own play. Like, he couldn't mentally get off the floor. And his problem is still, he's on the floor. He never got off the canvas. After that Seattle game, Carson Wentz has really never gotten off the turf. He's still on the ground at Lincoln Financial. He never got off the turf. He doesn't know how to combat failure. You got to learn how to deal with failure, man. Still, only one to have over 4K with a receiver, not have. It's crazy how great he was. He had trash cans he was throwing to that year when he threw for 4K. They want a rookie quarterback in next year, draft to save money and make the Super Bowl run with Stellar D. It's their formula now. It's becoming a formula. Seattle copied the Eagle formula, did it not? Hey, double O. Seattle just did what the Eagles did. They got themselves a $30 million quarterback, not a high-end guy. They had a running game, and they played great on defense. You don't have to have an elite quarterback to win a Super Bowl. The Eagles and the Seahawks in the last 2 years showed you, right? I mean, Sam Darnold's not elite. Hurts is not elite. You have a good football team around these guys, you can win. That's exactly what they did. No, he didn't. That was 19. We still had Alshon, Hurts, and Goddard. Sills, there is something we need to figure out. Howie's really good at building up a team. He is. Why can't he sustain it? The contract issue and dead money will catch up soon. Easy why he can't sustain it. They don't believe in second contracts on defense. Now, because they're so, now you're becoming where you got a lot of young football players on the defensive side that are going to get second contracts. It's screwing up the balance of the cap now. Listen to this. Because the quarterback and you're not restructuring and taking money to restructure. Look, hey, DFW, did they rework Dak's contract this offseason? Did they rework his contract? Gave him more guaranteed money so that they can make moves on getting like Pickens and everything else? DFW, did they not didn't they move like some money around on Dak and restructure Dak Prescott's contract so that it wouldn't be a gigantic cap hit so that they could make some moves? Okay. And so they could free up some cap space. Guys, just to double, I'm not saying no hurt season. You're wrong. I just want to double check that. Bob, they did. They reworked Dak's contract, right, to free some money up. Correct? Well, why haven't they done that with Jalen? They just gave him more guarantees to lower the cap. Well, DFW, why haven't they guaranteed more money for Hurts so they could lower the cap? Why do you think? He's running out of guaranteed money. Why haven't they done that to free up some cap money? Maybe they could have kept the Kobe. Maybe they could have went after and got Jalen Phillips. This is where all the money is. The quarterback is $50 million. He's the highest paid guy in the team. They don't believe in Hurts long term. I agree. Because he isn't a long-term plan. Oh, okay. Actually, they're reworking Dak's deal. Okay. I thought also they were going to do some work on Quinyon Williams' contract. Seals, you say a few years ago the roster's not suitable. Yeah, you can't keep doing this. Because now, get this, okay? You guys keep telling me you can't sign everybody. So you signed 2 players in 2 years. On defense, you signed Zach Bond. You signed Davis. And who else? Who else have you signed in the last 2 years? Who have you signed? I know contracts are coming up like next year. So you're worried about 27 and not 26? You haven't signed Cooper. It's not true. In the last 2 years, you signed 2 dudes. Carter's coming, I guess, next year. So let me ask you this. So am I right when I say this? Next year, you're going to sign, is this right? Here, let me double check this. 2027. 2027. Okay. So are you telling me this, guys? Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are eligible for contract extensions next year. So next year, you're going to pay Carter 40, Q 35, and Cooper 30 in one offseason? And then you're going to extend Hurts at 60? You're going to spend $190 million on 4 guys? Is that what you're doing next year? Okay. So you're going to sign this coming offseason. Not this year, but next year. You're going to pay Carter 40. You're going to pay Q 35. You're going to pay Cooper 30. And you're going to give Hurts 60. All eligible for extensions next year. You're doing that in one offseason. In one offseason, you're going to extend $100 to almost $200 million in 4 players. Is that right? Okay. Cap's only going up $25 million. 4 players. So what are you going to do with Bond? Wait. Why would you pick up the 5th year on a guy who's excelled? Why would you do that? He's proven since day one that he's an elite ball player. You're going to exercise the 5th year on him? He's not shown a character issue or been fat in any way. He's been an elite corner. So you're going to pick up the 5th year on him? All guys who played on your defense that have played exceptional have been Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And you're picking the 5th year up on him? And you're going to pay Cooper a 3-year contract extension over Q? So you're going to play a slot nickel corner, a 3-year contract extension, and you're going to go to Q and give him a 5th-year option? That's kind of ass backwards. That don't make sense. Yeah, I'm waiting to see all this. Here, so let's see here. Carter, 40. Okay. Q, 35. There's 75 million. Cooper, 30. There's 105 million. And who else did we say? Hurts. You're extending him, according to you guys. That's 60. Carter, Q, and Cooper and Hurts. You're going to spend $170 million in extensions. Sills, sure, it makes sense. It gives them time, just like they did with Smitty. Doug, okay, so you're going to use the 5th year up on all those guys, or just Q, who's been the most productive in the last 3 years since he's been an Eagle? I mean, you can't find a better player on defense than Quinyon Mitchell. You can't. You can't find a better player on your defense. And you're going to pick the 5th year up on him. What do you need time for with him? If Hurts was getting extended, it would have happened by now. Completely true. Completely true. They're not extending him. And I'm with you. I know that. They're not. I'm just trying to show you how dumb that shit is on what people are saying. So the Seahawks activated JSN's 5th-year option after his 3rd year before they paid him the extension. It helps spread the money out. It's not that crazy, okay? So you're saying that you're going to pay Cooper DeJean first over Q. Is that right? He's eligible too. Or are you picking the 5th year up? You can't. He's a 2nd rounder. So you think we could see teams like Arizona trade up in the round to get Cuban, how many trades you think you see? I think you're going to see a lot of trades down, not up in the upcoming draft. Yeah, Coop doesn't have it. So you're saying that they're going to pick the fifth year up. Okay. And they're going to give DeJean a 3-year extension. Okay. I know this. He's a sec. I know this. Carter didn't get extended yet because they will bake the 5th year into his extension. I don't think they're giving him a contract now. They may. We'll see. Lamar is getting extended, and both Burrow and Allen have uncollected guaranteed money in 27. Correct. I know this. You're right. And right now they're working on a $60 million a year contract for Lamar Jackson. He'll have it before the start of the season. If there are a lot of trades down, by default, there are the same amount of trades up, smart guy. Wow, what an epiphany. Wow. You're amazing. What a take. Whew, man, I can't believe it. Such a brilliant take. Especially since there's 32. I said you're going to see a lot of guys that are currently in their position right now trading down. What's hard to follow on that? And this guy comes back and says, well, there'll be as many trade ups. Wow. What an epiphany. How can a team trade up when most of the teams that are on the top of the draft are going to trade down? Because the teams below traded up. What an epiphany. Whew. Man. If Jalen balls out this year, they're definitely extending him. Howie needs to get ahead of the Mitchell contract. Muffle just got $30 million a year. Dude, that's right. McDuffie just got that money. You wait. Next year, man, if you don't sign Carter, you're looking at $200 million in the offseason. Oh, man. Yeah. Battle Royale at 432, by the way. Yes, sir. Get this. 60 million is the dumbest thing that you can do. The dude has good teams as Eagles, and he is supposedly more talented than Hurts, yet he doesn't win. Explain that dumb decision. Easily. Take a look at the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL and the highest paid guys. They're all paid. You're the one that doesn't get it. You're not paid on wins. How many times do I got to tell you, guy? You are not paid on wins. You're paid on talent. You don't get it. Every top 10 guy that's the highest paid player at the NFL at quarterback has not won a Super Bowl. I don't know what else to tell you. And if you don't want to understand that, you'll never get it. Make that make sense? Easy. Look at the paychecks. If you think we have Jalenites here, you should see Baltimore folks with Lamar. Jacksonites to the core. Oh, I bet. Oh, no, this is every single city, man. Are you kidding me? We're now even starting to see Zanderites. Oh, hey, you know what I love about old Nicky Sirianni? Nick sits there like, when he sits next to Howie, and Howie's sitting in his high chair next to him, and they're sitting there at the presser, Howie's dangling his feet off his high chair, and he's just answering questions. Nick sits over there like, he just sits there and he's just listening. I just listen to Howie. And there's old Howie sitting in his high chair, dangling those feet. Oh, man, answering all them questions. I can't wait. Look at this here. This is all for Big Z. Look at this. Oh, boy. 8 days. Hey, dude, I will say this in all seriousness. Where's this offseason gone? Dude, we're 8 days out. Like, this is the eve of the draft. A week from the eve of the draft. By the way, Adam Kaplan's joining us tomorrow. That's been confirmed. 5:30 he's joining us. Without further ado, the man who has his own battle royale Monday through Friday in the morning on Birds 365 with Big Johnny Mac. Here he is, the one and only. For all of you Zanderites, here he is, Big Z, Zander Krause. How you doing?
What's up, Sills? I don't think I have Zanderites.
I think you should, man. I think you're kicking ass down
We
there.
definitely have Sileoites. We got Sileo haters, but we got Sileoites too.
Hey, I like them on both sides of the aisle, brother.
I know you do.
I don't give a shit, man.
I know
you can post all day long as you want them. To me, that's a wonderful thing. You know the coolest thing about Big Z and me? We never block anybody unless it gets out of hand. And we don't, because you know
I'll block a couple motherfuckers. Sometimes you got to lay the hammer and let them know, let them know. The company that I spend every dollar, every minute of my day on, you're not going to get to run amok however you want. All right? Like I say in the morning show, this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship over here. All right, so it is
correct. All right, so Big Z, Big Sills is going to kind of like go over the interview with a comb here, and I'm going to ask you how you took it. See, because Big Sills, unlike McMullen, watch it, Z, watch this. I take my ears and I just turn them like this, and I hear he's drinking that fancy Coke again. Dude,
it's a seltzer water, dude.
It aggravates. These fucking fancy Cokes
sparkling water.
Anyway,
it's sparkling water. It's a regular drink. It's like $3 for a pack of 12 of them.
Yeah, I want to show you guys. Look, I'm starting to take shit too. So just so you know.
Yeah, look at you with the fancy shit over there.
I know. Look at this. I'm starting to do it myself here. Look at this. All right. So wait, I got to turn my ears here. So, all right, Big Z. Nick Sirianni says that he and his job is to make sure that he puts the best coaches around players for player development and to get the very best out of his players. Do you think that holds true the last 2 years for Jalen Hurts? Nick putting the best people around him?
Well, it depends. I mean, if you're talking specifically Jalen Hurts, probably
yes.
Not. Probably not. I think Nick's put the team first.
You know, you just said something that Howie said during that Dontavian Wicks question. Remember what he said? He went like this. He said, hey, Howie, it looks like, you got a guy that is familiar with Sean Mannion's offense.
Yeah. This was a good answer, actually.
And Green Bay, he goes, no. I'm not bringing him in for Sean. I'm bringing him in to get my football team better.
Yep.
That mentality right there tells me all I need to know about player development. They're not looking to get players better. They're looking to get the unit better. And that's why they fall short sometimes when it comes to player development individually.
Well, they've done well with their top picks. I mean, like Howie said, they have. It all depends on the tiers. If the Eagles have you in a high tier, like he explained yesterday, they're going to give you a little bit more of that time to develop and come alive. Other than that, though, yeah, you're right. And by the way, I think that's the right mentality. I mean, that's what you want, Howie's saying. I'm not doing things for anybody other than making the Philadelphia Eagles better. And I think maybe that's the perspective you're seeing with Jalen Hurts. Now, look, people will go back and say, well, why the hell does he hire Kevin Patullo? It's easy to say that in hindsight. You guys got to think. I mean, remember, Kevin Patullo was hired coming off of a Super Bowl year with a historic running offense where you were so late in the process. The parade that year was February 14th on Valentine's Day. Every coach out there was already hired at this point. So you took a guy who was basically next in line on the offensive staff and you elevated them. Now, in hindsight, yeah, it didn't work. But it's hard to criticize if you go back to that moment, and say, why did Nick hire this guy? It makes sense why he hired that guy, especially for a team that had just reached the pinnacle of the sport. Okay, we just reached the pinnacle. Take the guy who's next in line on offense and elevate him. I mean, that's kind of normal, right? That's common practice in business. How many times do you see a CEO step away of a company and boom, the regional manager or the regional, GM becomes the CEO? It's kind of how it works. So, I don't really rip Nick for the hiring of Patullo. Patullo didn't work, and so I think he's done fine. I mean, he hired Vic. Was Vic a help for Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
I'll say. I don't think this team is a Super Bowl without Vic.
No, they're not. They're not. Why do you get more player development, you think, on the defensive side and not the offensive side?
That's a good question. I mean, I think one of it is a factor of you got a lot of young players. I mean, when you have young players on rookie contracts, you're going to develop more than a bunch of paid guys. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just kind of how it is. Your development curve in the NFL is early in your career. It's not really late in your career. But I think that's a part of it. And you know what I will say is, to me, the coaching staff is better on the defense, on the position groups. You look at Clint Hurt, you look at Bobby King, you look at Christian Parker, who just left. You looked at, Joe Casper, who's another secondary coach. You look at all of these guys who have really had good success here. Now, part of that is because they've had great players, but that defensive line took a turn when Clint Hurt showed up. I mean, he got them dudes playing. Remember, Tracy Rocker was solid, but that defensive line took a step forward when Clint Hurt got here. I think the defensive staff is a little better, but I think the head of the snake there is Vic.
Well, because, as you called him, the head of the snake's been in the league 40 years. He's got more connections with better coaches, whereas Nick doesn't, maybe.
Yeah.
Because as Nick's hiring, I mean, it's hit or miss every year.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why Chris Cooper's here, Maybe Nick said, hey, who knows somebody out there that they trust? And Vic said, yeah, this guy's, I like this guy, and maybe that's how Chris Cooper ended up here. I'm not sure.
So I got to hear the Z takeaway on this, man.
Uh-oh.
So when Howie was, I loved listening to how he answered this question. And I wrote it down here. Howie, have you seen the recent articles that have come out on Jalen Hurts? Yeah, I have. It's unfortunate. If we ever have an issue and we don't talk to our players, for it to say that we don't talk to our players directly is unfair. You know what that response meant to me? He didn't dispute what was in those articles. He was more pissed off that you question that they don't talk to Hurts directly.
He was pissed off about the portrayal of the front office, not the player.
Correct.
He didn't give he didn't even address the Tim McManus, Jeremy Fowler piece. He didn't even address it. Think about it. He talked about the Jeff McClain piece that said that they feel that they have to go through the media. He didn't even acknowledge the ESPN piece, which is really the one that made bigger headlines. So yeah, I mean, look,
he never disputed it. Question. Wait, listen, I want to get your take because people think I heard that wrong.
No, I didn't hear that wrong.
I heard this. Hey, man, they were more aggravated that you think we haven't gone to this dude and told him numerous times that we want it done this way or that way. And they were pissed that you questioned them. Never in that conversation or retort that he had did he go, the conversation in those articles were bullshit about Jalen Hurts. He never said that. All he said was, don't think we're having to talk to him. Hey, Z, I could take it like this, right? You guys are full of shit if you think we haven't gone to him and talked to him.
Well,
can I take away the Big Sills way that way?
Yeah. And you could also take it away that I asked this question this morning to one of my guests, to Brandon Lee Gowton in hour number 2. You tell me what you think, and everybody listen, and you think about it, and you let me know in the chat or in the comments after the fact. Do you think there's a disconnect right now between the how Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni feel about Jalen Hurts?
I think
as compared to how the owner feels about Jalen Hurts.
Yes, I do. I think the coach and the GM are trying to begin the process of distancing themselves and laying him and putting him out going like this. If you can come along, we want you along. I don't think it's this, Z. I don't think they don't want him not to come along. I think they want him to come along. But I also think this. They're not waiting for him any longer.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's got to a point where they're not waiting for him any longer. And we can't have you at times look like it's being carried. You got to carry us a little bit.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they basically teed Howie up there to jump on the grenade for the quarterback. Like literally, sorry about that. They like teed him up. Like they gave it to him. What do you know? It was a softball, not Absolutely. Softball question. It was a fine question, but I mean, it was asked in a way where Howie could have been like
easily defended.
Jalen Hurts has been an excellent player.
We rock with Hurts.
Exactly. He completely side skated that. Versus, now this was pre-articles, but when Jeffrey Lurie was asked about Jalen Hurts, he went out on on the sword to really stick up for him, almost to a way that was like a little odd how much I think even Jalen Knights thought it was like a little, he was like, it sounded like he was talking about his son. So I don't know. I think there might be a little bit of a disconnect there. I don't know what that exactly means because at the end of the day, the owner's going to win, folks. But maybe that conspiracy theory from Spike Eskin was closer to the number than we thought. You remember that conspiracy theory?
I do. I happen to think that these guys are distancing themselves from him. And you can see the beginning of the process in the hires, the personnel. How about the other one that Howie sidestepped and didn't even answer? Do you think, and I'm paraphrasing this question to you, Z, do you think all the additions at wide receiver with Dontavian Wicks and all of that, where is the place for AJ in this? Hey, we really loved Dontavian Wicks. We loved him when he was at Green Bay. When we were on the airplane out to Arizona, I jumped up off my seat. I almost killed the guy next to me. They were sitting there, and I go, what do you make of this? And he goes, we were all excited. He not once answered the question about – and then when the guy followed up, he goes, I love this answer by Howie. Let me ask you something. Do you really think there's any way that I'm going to answer that question any different?
Yeah, Howie's like you, dude. He's got – no, I shouldn't even say that.
Well, he's a Gator.
That dude – Howie Roseman loves him some Howie Roseman, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. I got no problem with it. He's been very successful, man. He deserves to take some laps. I agree. I mean, I think he's one of the better GMs in all of pro sports. So I'm not mad at him for it, but I do get a kick out of it, Or
he is. I was wrong about him. He is.
Yeah, he loves him some Howie Roseman, which is fine, So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting answer too. I'll tell you this. It was Rasputin in our chat who brought it up to me this morning. They've never, ever spent this much on the depth at wide receiver. Ever.
No.
I mean, you're talking about, in theory, let's say AJ stays. That means they've invested more at wide receiver 3, 4, and 5 than they ever have in their recent history. So it's obviously an indication of, one, maybe the West Coast offense is becoming a thing and they want to invest more at the depth at receiver and spread the ball around more, or they're preparing for life after AJ Brown, and I happen to think it's the latter, but we will see.
So it's a great point you just bring up. Who was that guy that they brought in from Indianapolis in 21 that worked with Nick? Zach Pascal?
Yeah.
Was that his name?
Yep.
So in 21, they brought in like Zach Pascal. Then they brought in 24, they brought in Jahan Dotson. They had that kid from Atlanta in 22. And they really only brought in 1 or 2 wideouts, and they drafted the rest of them, right? So now they're bringing in 3 or 4.
Yeah. And look, the dilemma there is the one explanation makes a lot more sense than the other explanation.
Well, in here, don't all those wide receivers look like Devontae Smith? More so than AJ?
Definitely more so than AJ.
That's why Devontae Smith is going to be the number 1.
It's either life after AJ or it's life after Jalen. Pick one. To me, that's what it looks like to me. And then the other side of it is is if it's not life after AJ, then it just doesn't make sense because, I mean, come on, guys. The quarterback's not going to get this third, fourth, and fifth read. He's never done it in a 5-year starting career. He's had a lot of success. That's not to take away from his success, but his skill set does not include getting to third, fourth, and fifth reads. By the way, a lot of quarterbacks don't have that. That's a tough skill set. Totally. That's hard to do to get to read 3, especially in the NFL when pass rushers are coming at you and your O-line's breaking down. So if that's what they're trying to accomplish, you better hope that Jalen Hurts developed Matthew Stafford level processing and arm strength over the summer.
Dude, they're praying that Drake May gets to that. Not just Jalen Hurts. Everyone you want to get to that level.
Aware. Yeah, Dawood's right. Wicks is pretty big. Wicks is not Smitty sized. He's like 200 pounds, dude.
But he's more of a possession guy.
He's not fast. He ran like a 4.6, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's a route running guy. Zander, which of these numbers do you think will improve this coming season? Passing yards, 18th in the last 2 years. Completions, 19th. Attempts, 19th. Touchdowns, 15th. Yards per game, 24th. Third down, you were 27th on third down a year ago. Which one of these numbers do you think improves this year?
What was it, third down or passing?
Third down a year ago, you were...
Yeah, but you're asking which one, third down or passing?
24th, you were on third down in total offense.
I'm going to say third down.
Why?
Because they need to fix first down, which will make third down better. And first down is not going to be fixed by throwing the ball. First down is going to be fixed by running the ball more effectively. So if that's what happens, then you're looking at shorter third end yardages, and that will mean probably more success on third down. And that does not necessarily mean you're going to have a better passing game.
Okay, so I'm glad you went here because that leads me to this. Isn't the only way to fix the run game is to improve the volume of running attempts, not passing attempts? You need to increase the volume of running the ball more.
Well, volume or effectiveness? He led the league in getting hit behind the line of scrimmage last year. Same amount of volume, but you agree that number and
yeah, but isn't Barkley one of these backs? 5 minus 2, 5 minus 1, 3, but 30.
Last year it was -3 first, not the 5 first.
So you're assuming this guy's going to get back to some resemblance of what he did in 24.
Who, Jalen?
Barkley.
Oh, Barkley. O-line. O-line's got to. The legend of Chris Cooper is here to save the Philadelphia Eagles. No, it's actually not Chris Cooper. We're really relying on the stem cells in Medellin, Colombia, as Johnny Mack pointed out this morning.
the what is it? The Colombian buttock is what we're looking at getting. I don't know. I don't. I mean, I don't get it. So you think those questions were unfair when it came to asking those guys about Hurts? You think it was unfair about the passing game, about the offense? You think these questions?
No, I think they should have asked more about it.
Do you think I'm being unfair to Jalen?
Well, you've been consistent on Jalen for 5 years. You don't like his skill set. It's not what you would build the team around. It's not your style of quarterback. You don't like it. So, no, I don't think you're being unfair. I think you're being sills.
Well, I've come to the conclusion that your general manager is more important in that building than anybody else in that building.
Well, I think most would agree with that.
And I would say this to you. I've come around on him.
All right. Rank these three in importance. Howie, Nick, Jalen.
Let me see. I would definitely go Howie.
Howie's 1, and it's not particularly close.
Howie. Big Dom.
Come on, Sills.
Hurts.
So you got Hurts above Nick.
Yeah, because I think Nick's even – because Nick can't control his life.
But Nick is the head coach of the team. I mean, Jalen, if you're going to say Jalen, then I would think that would have to come with the offense being the bigger reason for the success. They have not been.
Okay. So
in fact, they've potentially been a detriment, and certainly were last year.
Do you think that Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie believe that they can win with or without Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni like they did before with Doug and with Wentz?
Yeah, I do.
So those two guys are really irrelevant in the conversation with those two guys.
Well, they're not irrelevant because you can't just put anybody in there. But I do believe they would – no, because anybody is an open scope. They need a competent player and a competent coach. Yeah. I don't think they need – I don't think they need – they think they stumbled across Vince Lombardi, and Joe Montana here. I don't think they think that. So I think, look, by the way, they should have that confidence, man. I mean, and, they did it. Howie's been the best GM. The Eagles lead the NFC East in we got the last 2 Super Bowl trophies in our division. We've been to multiple Super Bowls. No other team in our division has been. We just got the back-to-back division title for the first time in 20 plus years. The Eagles are the team that's holding the torch in the NFC East. A lot of that is because of Howie's ability to reconstruct a roster consistently. Now, it's not all perfect. Doesn't mean it's all perfect, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It is. And by the way, I looked at his first-round draft choices. I mean, since 2010, he's been really good. I mean, yes, the Ragers are in there, but the Lane Johnsons are in there.
Yeah. Now, they were less Howie. Chip Kelly actually chose
I got that.
Yeah, the full body of work. I got you.
I'm talking, like
organizational approach, front office, stuff like that. I got you.
Is Hurts the greatest pick he's ever had?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
No.
Who's better?
I mean, could probably make an argument for Jordan Mailata. Could probably make an argument for Lane Johnson. Could probably make an argument for Jalen's up there. I think Lane or Mailata, to be honest, though. Dude, you got a perennial all pro. Not a good player. An all pro at one. Not, by the way, this is why I put Mailata over Lane. Lane is a Hall of Fame player. Lane plays right tackle.
Yeah.
Left tackles are coveted. And Jordan Mailata became one of the best ones in football as a 7th-round draft pick.
7th-round draft pick.
I mean, that's a pretty insane draft selection. Even if it was luck, I don't really care. So I do think Jalen's up there, though.
So next year, how much you think Cooper gets next year when he's eligible for an extension?
28.
28? No way. That guy's going to roll in $35 million.
Well, remember, Sills, there is business here. The top paid outside cornerback just got 31. If Cooper DeJean is in the slot, dude, they're not going to give him $35 million, dude.
No. Q.
You said Coop.
I did. Okay. So 28. Okay. For Cooper. Yeah.
Quinion. Yeah. I think 33.
33. Okay. They don't extend Carter this offseason. They do it next year.
I know. I brought this up.
You're paying 40 here?
No, I'm not paying 40.
35.
33. The top guy's at 31, dude. Okay. Why are you going to 40? That's like Jerry Jones with Dak. You go to 60, you don't even need to.
Cooper, 33. You got Q at 30. You got Carter at 33. This is all next offseason. And if the quarterback plays good enough, you're paying them 60, right?
Look.
That's $150 million.
If you're paying the quarterback 60,
four players,
this offense is going to need to take some major steps forward. I mean, come on, guys.
$150 million and 4 players.
This offense is going to have to take major steps forward. I mean, guys, we have the best skill position players in the league for the last 3 years. Now, maybe we don't right this second, but we did for the last 4 years. Our offense has not performed at the level it needs to perform at. Now, if you want to sit back and blame every offensive coordinator that's rolled here, be my guest. But that's not the honest truth. It's not. It's not. You have great players on the field in the NFL. They have to bear some responsibility for not producing at the level they need to produce at. You want to blame Patullo or Brian John or any of these guys, go for it. That's ridiculous. They have some blame, sure. Players too, though, dude. You can't go around shelling out contracts for offensive players when nobody in the offense is delivering the goods.
I want to do this with you here.
I mean, at least, wait, real quick.
I want you to say that again.
But at least you talk about paying the defense, and I'm like, yeah, the defense is the reason we've been a good team the last couple of years. The defense has won games for the Philadelphia Eagles. The secondary has become lights out. Cooper DeJean's intercepted people and pick sixes in the Super Bowl as a rookie. I mean, that's delivering the goods.
Okay, let me do this here. Let me do this. 26 Eagles. Let me do this here, Z. Eagles. I forgot to bring this up. So.
Senor thinks Kevin Patullo is the one on the field and can play ball. Come on, Senor. You don't even believe that, bro. You don't even believe that.
Okay, Z. So let me see here. All right. So here's your money. And here's the money you're going to get. Let me go here. When you're looking at the offense this coming season, so Lane Johnson, you think he's gone. This is the final year, right?
Maybe. I think 70% chance it's his final year.
Okay. So he's the first to go of the 11. Let's just go Lane. If you're going to pay those guys on defense now, and that comment about Zander always telling Big Sills you can't pay everybody. Well, somebody has to go.
Who?
It's what we're figuring out here. Because it's got to come from the offensive side. Because right now you don't pay anybody on defense. Do you know you're the cheapest defense in pro football right now, salary-wise? You pay $59 million for your defense.
Well, it's not going to be that for long.
You are the 32nd ranked defense payroll-wise in the National Football League. Do you know that?
I do know that.
32nd.
Have they? Let me ask you. Have they earned their contracts?
Oh, my boy Coop has.
Coop has.
Okay, Q has.
You want to laugh? Look, this is what the great people of JAKIB Nation have turned me into. After my start of the segment. Ready? President Z instead of President Xi Jinping. I am Z. That's hilarious. Thanks, you guys.
Oh, my God. So the first to go is Lane. Then the second to go is AJ. Well, let's go. AJ's the first to go.
Yeah, AJ. I think AJ would be going.
AJ. Then Lane's the second to go. Who's the third to go?
On offense?
Landon.
It depends. I mean, if the offense falls flat this year, you could be talking about quarterback too.
Well, shit, if the quarterback goes, all bets are off then.
Well, dude, I want everybody to think about the scenario.
If you get rid of the quarterback, you can keep everyone else.
Even the biggest Jalenites have no choice but to accept this as fact. If the Eagles do not give Jalen Hurts a contract extension this summer, they have declared to everybody, it's in make or break mode. That's the objective fact. He's got $20 million of guaranteed money next year. So if he goes into this year and they don't re-up his contract or at least give him more guaranteed money for next season, they're in make or break mode with him.
How come you think the media in Philly didn't ask that question yesterday to Howie?
I don't know, because I don't know why they don't ask that question. The other question they needed to ask was the report from the ESPN about Jalen not wanting to run the concepts, going back and forth with Kellen Moore. I mean, that was a Nick Sirianni question that needed to be asked. I don't care that you only get Howie once a year or whatever it is. I mean, that was a question that needed to be asked.
It sure did.
I mean, you got this big report coming out from ESPN that talks about Jalen and all these different things, and nobody wanted to ask the head coach, hey, is it true that Jalen doesn't want to run your concepts or doesn't want to evolve the offense? Is that why you brought Sean Mannion in? Is that why Kellen Moore wanted to leave? I mean, these are questions that should have been asked, and they weren't. I don't know why they weren't, but they should have been asked. It was like the only question I cared about.
Yeah.
I think I gave a shit about Howie saying AJ's an Eagle again. I don't care.
He answered the question this way, too. We have 23 players that we're comfortable drafting. After that question, it should have been more about the guys that are on the current team now. Hey, how do you think Zander? How do you think that Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion are going to work? How do you think that he'll take to the offensive skill set? What'd you make of the articles? And the only thing you got back in a response and a retort from Howie was, we talked to the guy.
No, the only response you got from Howie was defending his front office, which was hilarious, by the way. I mean, you gotta love him. You got Howie. Listen, this is why Howie's good. Howie's got one singular focus. It's not to help everybody love Jalen Hurts or anything. It's to make his team better and to make the perception of him as a general manager as good as it can possibly be, so that he lives in the history books.
Smart.
I mean, you almost have to respect it.
I do. I respect it. No, I respect his game at the mic.
Dude,
you know why? Some guys. You know what? When I listened to it, I started laughing because this guy's a pro. He knows what he's doing at the mic.
He's a jokester too. He loves to make those witty little jokes up there. I get a kick out of him.
He's a professional there. He gets it. Okay. Hey, do you think I'm going to answer that question in any other way? 50% different? What do you think? And the guy goes like, no. He goes, well, I'm just, they knew what questions they were going to be asked. I think Bob Lane got a precursor of what questions not to ask.
Wait, real quick. This is a good super chat we should address now. Cody says, legit, if he's not guaranteed money through this season, wouldn't it make sense to renew him next offseason? I'm legit asking. It's a fair question because you could say that. But, Cody, what if the offense is 25th again?
And it will be.
Now, if the offense is top 10 or top 12, then the question's going to answer itself. Yeah, you're right. Though.
Cody, to Zander's point there, in 5 years, it's been top 10 once. It's been lower 10 four times.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, think about this scenario. If they're 25th again, Cody, and Jalen goes into next offseason, like you're saying, you'd pay him next offseason. Are they going to roll out that red carpet?
No way. How do you think
I don't think there's even a world that exists where they would roll that red carpet.
See, how do you think they would get away from trading him? With that no trade, how do you think that would work? And how
they wouldn't? It'll solve itself, because if he doesn't succeed this year, they're not going to pick up the guaranteed money. At that point, his agent is going to say, we need to look for alternatives. We need to get you more guaranteed money. You're not playing for $20 million guaranteed money. And that's when they'll ask out.
I think it's going to play like this. You remember when Peyton Manning left Indianapolis? He got hurt, and they wanted to tank the season so they could get Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
That was a really ugly – and Peyton Manning said, listen, I got to go somewhere. I've worn my time out here. I think at the end of 26, Zander, because of what we're starting to see with I think the Eagle front office and even Nicole Lynn will start pushing away from everyone too, going – we all need fresh starts here. And we're going to help. And you know what the Eagles will do, in my opinion? Hey, Nicole, Clutch, what team are you looking at? Because I think you would owe that to him. I don't want to send him to the Jets. I don't think he deserves that. I don't want to send him to the Jets.
Yeah, but what makes you think Howie will change his perspective there? He's going to do what's best for the Eagles. Hasn't he proven that to you?
Okay, so you think they're going to send him to Tennessee, or like say that Cam Ward's?
I think they're going to send him to whatever makes the most sense for the Eagles. Now, they are in a little bit more hamstrung here because Jalen's no trade.
Right, that's the point.
Yeah, so maybe
you have to work now. If we're talking about another player on their team that doesn't have a trade clause in there, he's going to do whatever he feels. But you got to work with the guy here. You see, what Nicole Lynn did here was she set up his exit. You see that?
I said this a while ago.
Send him anywhere.
I said this a while ago. That's the place. He'll waive the no trade clause and he'll have good success there.
And he'll win there.
He'll win there.
Okay. And you've got D'Amico. If he doesn't take the Alabama job.
You know what I learned from Howie Roseman's press conference? This one and also his comments at the owners' meetings. If New England wants A.J. Brown, well, they better give Howie what he wants, because I think Howie doesn't give a rat's ass where A.J. wants to go. I think Howie wants to maximize the return for the Philadelphia Eagles, or sit down and shut the hell up. And if you think you're not going to play at 29 years old on a $32 million a year deal, that's career suicide. So Howie's got all the leverage. He's not sending him to New England because that's where AJ wants to go, or because Mike Vrabel wants him there. Howie's going to whatever makes the most sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's proven that. That's all he cares about.
Okay, well, next year he loses complete leverage.
He doesn't care, though.
Okay.
Because the player, at that point, it's going to solve itself. If you want him to make the team worse this year, you better give Howie what's going to make the Philadelphia Eagles better.
What I always admired about New England got rid of players when they had a lot of gas left for equity back for their team to continue the train rolling. Whether it was Stephon Gilmore, Richard Seymour, guys like that, they would get rid of these guys. And they would create leverage, Zander, for their football team with high draft picks. That's how they kept that train going. Brady obviously was a factor in that entire thing. There's no question. However, waiting until the guy loses his value and you're going to deal him, and then next year you're going to get 3s and 4s for him, I don't know, man. So you're going to be a bulldog in not getting 2s and 3s in a draft that's not really a draft. You're going to sit there and not take 2s and 3s for a guy. And again, a low 2, if you're getting New England's 2, the 2's at the bottom of the second round, which is not a great pick. I would demand at least, how about this? Would you buy 2 2s?
2 2s for AJ? Assuming with that nobody else is offering a 1, yeah, I'd probably take it.
Let me go here. You get 2 2s. Okay?
2 2s isn't really all that much, though.
Wait a minute. 2 2s in 2027, and you've got a first round pick.
Yeah, you'll be.
I can move that. I can move that up and get myself 2 first rounders.
Dude, this is playing out. It's like beautiful. Howie's going to have multiple first round. That's what he wants.
He is
multiple first round picks.
27.
So when the inevitable end of this era of the Eagles does come, one day it will come to all you Jalenites. I don't know if you're still going to be Eagle fans when it comes, but it will come. We'll still be here. I'll still be cheering on the Birds. Now, you can take your Jalen Hurts jerseys and pray to them somewhere else. But when that day does inevitable come, Howie wants to have the assets to get what he wants. That's what AJ kind of gives him. If you make the move this year, but you got to get the 1.
Are you closer to 2020, or are you closer to 2024? This coming 2026 season?
2020 or 2024? Yeah, that's a crazy question. 2024, they were a historic team. 2020, they were bottom of the dregs. They were a 4-win squad with a brutal offensive line that had injuries all over the yard.
Kind of what you have now.
Oh man, this dude, where the fuck do you even come up with these questions? Is this AI? Is Grok helping you with this shit, man? Do I sadly think they're closer to 2020? No.
I do.
Nah, because the roster wasn't as good prior to 2020.
No. Okay. So you think they're closer to Super Bowl than the 2020 rebuild? By the way, I got to tell you, that 2020 team, then the 2021 team where you went to 9 wins, that was a fast turnaround.
Yeah, it was. Nick Sirianni, baby.
The arrival of the doorman. Hey, that was a crazy turnaround. If you think
the offensive line got healthy.
Oh.
People act like 2020 was all like Doug. Like the offensive line was hard in 2020. It was injured all over the place. They won 4 ball games.
So you think they're closer to what? 2024? I'm going to ask Philly that question.
Can I take a push? Can I take 2021?
2021? All right, I'll do that. Are you closer to 2021 than you are 2020? How about this one? I'll even do this to go my way. Do you think you're closer to 2021 or 2023?
Well, they were so different. 23 was a good team that collapsed.
He kind of collapses last year too.
Yeah, they didn't collapse last year. They were never that good. Their offense stunk all year, start to finish. Start to finish.
I'll get another one here for you. Is Jalen Hurts closer to 2022? Or is he closer to 2023?
I think he's closer to 2025. Because 23, he was still mobile.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be that mobile anymore. So I think he can still be. I don't know how much he's going to run though.
You think Hurts will be a top 10 quarterback this year?
Top 10?
Yeah.
No.
How can a guy have that kind of resume and not be a top 10 quarterback?
Man, he's got a great team. He's got a great GM. He's got a great coach. He's got a great squad around him.
How can you have that kind of resume and not be a top 10 quarterback?
Well, remember, Sills, like I just said, I'm an Eagle fan, not a Jalen fan. Okay. If Jalen doesn't need to be a top 10 quarterback and the team can win, then that's perfectly fine. But if your offense is gonna be such a detriment that you can't win football games because your offense stinks and can't get a first down and can't get off the field in 3 and outs, then now I got a problem. So I don't need him to be a top 10 quarterback. Okay. I don't really care. But he's got to be competent enough to use the talent around him for the team to be successful, like he was in 22 and 24.
Is Joe Burrow a top 5 talent in the NFL?
Oh, yeah. Easily.
You would
he's not top 5 in availability, that's for sure.
That's for sure. But would you agree that Joe Burrow's football team is bottom 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's got good skill position players, though. Let's not. I mean, hey, throwing a Jamar Chase to T. Higgins. That ain't so bad, man.
But the 29th ranked offensive line, I don't know. You're trying to make chicken shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a chicken soup.
I mean, he also took that putrid offensive line to a Super Bowl, so
and a quarter away from winning against the Rams, which is insane. NFL draft, we're 8 days out. How you feeling? Where are you going?
I love it. I'm going up.
Hey, by the way, am I right when I say this?
Trade up. Trade up. Get the offensive lineman. We just talked about the potential changes that are coming in future years. Now you want to add a right tackle to the mix? I don't care if they take Vega. If they go interior, I'm fine with it too. Go up and get your tackle or get Vega. I don't think Sadiq is the right move. I like him, but I don't think it's the right move for this team.
So you want to improve your run game, right?
Yeah.
How come Love doesn't make sense? Heir apparent to Barkley.
He's top 10. They're not going to trade up for a running. You know what I mean? Like if he was going to be there, maybe you think about it, but
where is he projected? By the way, tomorrow we're going to do
top 10, dude.
Is he?
By most people, yeah.
Man. You think he's a top 10 guy?
I think he's damn good. I don't know if I would take him top 10. I'm not a huge fan of taking running backs top 10, but
me too, man. But I tell you what panned out, right? What panned out was what's his name? And I didn't think we'd be that right on what's his name? Bijan Robinson, but shit, dude. He's been a fucking dude. You were right about Gibbs and how good he was. So let me see. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? He doesn't really have him there, does he?
Who? Yeah.
Wow, Pete Prisco has him at number 4 going.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, you're a little off base on Love. He's going high. Where did Daniel Jeremiah have him?
Let's see where Daniel Jeremiah have him.
I'll find it for you. Here's his 3.0. Yeah, he had him at 4 too.
Wow. To Tennessee?
Yep.
Man. That's a big pick, dude. Let me see what they got.
Here's my dilemma with Sadiq. My dilemma with Sadiq is precisely this. The Eagles have had no shortage of skill position players. That's not the problem. So why are we adding the skill position players? And we already can't get the most out of the skill position players we got. Hell, we got a damn receiver here who's moping and whining and reading books on sidelines because he hates it so bad. You think the fix to that is it's another skill position guy? It's not. Not to me. So, get the person get the offensive lineman of the future, solidify a very important position, no matter who your quarterback or who your skill position people are, and put yourself in a better position.
Would you take a wideout first round?
Nope.
Why?
Hell no. Same thing I just said. Skill position players are not the Eagles' problem. They're not. Wait, let me ask people. All right, they draft Kenyon Sadiq, or okay, they draft Jordan Tyson. Are you of the belief that that's going to be an improvement for our offense over A.J. Brown? Now, you might think A.J. Brown's a head case or emotional.
You just got through telling me A.J. Brown's lost a step.
Well, he hasn't last year, partly probably because of the offense condensing, but also on him. I'm just saying, in theory, you're not going to get better. Replacing AJ with Sadiq or one of these other dudes, you're not going to get better on offense because you got a new skill position player. AJ might have lost a step. He's certainly good enough to have an effective offense with.
So you think drafting an offensive lineman is going to make you better?
No, I think it's a more valuable position for a team that's in flux on offense who has a lot of question marks in the next couple of years. When in doubt, go foundation.
Okay. So you're in foundation mode, not now mode.
Hell yeah. Foundation mode. 100%. Okay. Too much up in the air. What if the quarterback stinks this year? What if the offense stinks again? What if Sean Mannion, Nick Sirianni, and Jalen Hurts all get blown out after this year? So what's more valuable, Kenyon Sadiq or having the right tackle?
I'm not saying you're wrong here. I'm just saying you're in future mode right now. You're not in present mode.
I'm not necessarily in future mode. I'm in address the most important long-term things. I mean,
that's future mode. If you're looking at O-line.
Well, I guess that's true.
You're not looking to improve. You're looking to improve in the future.
Well, again, the problem with it is because the what are the immediate fixes on offense? Do you have an answer for that?
Quarterback.
Okay, well, practical.
Okay. Age.
That's kind of my point. Like if there's nowhere to fix. So let's address the offensive line, which is going to be a problem. If Lane Johnson, guys, if they don't draft an O-lineman and Lane Johnson hangs up the cleats next year, it could be bleak. They got a replacement for Brandon Brooks. They had a replacement for Brandon Graham. They had a replacement for Fletcher Cox. They had a replacement for Jason Kelsey. They've gotten a replacement for every big-time offensive player. They got 2 replacements for Jason Peters when he left. Mailata and Dillard, a first and a 7th. Go and duke it out. You're going to tell me you're going to walk in the next offseason without anybody there to replace Lane Johnson? That's not a risk I would take. Not with an offense that's underperformed relative to the talent on the team.
Okay, so you want to get the offense better and particularly not the quarterback. Guys, stop with the Miami OT. He's going to go 3.
That guy's going high.
He's going 3.
He's going 3 to the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's going 3 to the Cardinals. He's not. You're not going to be in that conversation.
He is the guy, though.
He's the guy.
He's the guy. If you want to replace Lane Johnson, that's the guy.
He's the best Miami Hurricane football player we've had at offensive line since Bryant McKinney. And I would make the comment that I think he has the potential to be the greatest Miami Hurricane NFL offensive player of all time on the O-line. Right? He might be the greatest offensive lineman we've ever had.
He may be. Well, let's see. I mean, I want to see him. You know, he's got to have more than a cup of tea at the NFL. But I do agree, he's an amazing prospect. I mean, I was watching some of his tape. He's really fucking good. He's going to be really good.
Yeah. By the way, if Saban hadn't hung it up, I'm going to give you a little insight. He ain't no hurricane.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, that's totally right.
Well, so he's a smart guy too. I like him.
Well, you know, Mario sold him. Hey, I was the old line coach there at one time.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, Mario's done a hell of a job with your program. So
yep.
You guys should be super pumped with him, man.
I want to ask you one last question here. Then we're going to do some of the supers before we get the guys in here for Battle Royale. I got
Did you tell your audience you're dipping out or a little?
Oh, I haven't yet. That's right. I got to go see.
You didn't tell the great people of JAKIB.
I got to see a back guy. I've been sitting on my ass too long, man. I got to go see a back guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
That'll be at the top of the hour. I got to ask you this though, dude. Get a little bit more insight on this Ruben Bain. How about the family coming out going like this? There's some sort of like civil settlement behind the scenes here. That's why they went like this. How about the family that the girl Betts died? They said this: we hope that the guy has a great career. We look forward to it. Let me tell you something. You kill my daughter, I'm hunting you down with a hunting rifle.
I'm going to prison.
You bet, man. I'm not letting that off the hook. Sitting there saying this, going like this.
I heard something. Have you heard this? I heard this.
By the way, there was no field sobriety test.
Now, I don't profess to be like an insider who has a bunch of connections. That's not my thing. But I was talking to somebody who kind of is one of those people. And he told me that NFL teams are of the belief that there's going to be another thing filed when he signs his contract. And it's not that that's the problem. Apparently, Bain has been off-putting when he's been asked about it. Now, again, that's what I was told. I'm not sitting here telling you I got sources or all these things. I don't. That's not my thing. So I don't know.
What, like a failed drug test?
What do you mean a failed drug test?
Is that something that's going to drop? Like he failed?
No, like a law, they're going to sue him, the family of the woman that died again.
It's civil. It's behind the scenes.
Let me see what I got here.
You want to hear this? There was no field sobriety test. By the way, I can see the Cowboys grabbing him.
Yeah, I don't got any.
Look, I know the kid.
It is what it is. I mean, let me find the text. I'll read
Zander, I know the kid very well.
He said this. The family's looking to sue once he signs his contract. Teams don't have a problem with it, but he's been very standoffish when he was asked about it. Again, I don't know how connected the person is. I do trust the person, but I don't know how connected they are.
I've known the family 40 years.
The Bains?
Yeah. Here, let me show you this.
Let's do these supers, dude. It's almost 4:30. We got 500 already in here. Mark.
See this right here? Look at this. I'm going to show you something here.
Man, that's old school media guide right there.
Now watch this, bro. Okay, check this out before you get to these.
I can't wait to hear Philly and Mark. What up, Philly? What up, Mark?
Let me show you this. I showed you this yesterday. Some of the people yesterday. This. Hold on here.
Yeah, by the way, can you switch up you're really slanted toward Mark on a couple of these battle royales.
See this right here?
Like a cowboy homer.
Hold on here. Where is it? See Tolbert Bain down there?
Oh, wow. Is that Ruben Bain's father?
It's Ruben Bain's
uncle. Bottom. I got you. I see it. Yeah, Tolbert Bain, senior cornerback.
That's his cousin.
His cousin. Okay.
I've known the family for 40 years.
Wow. Well, we'll see. I mean,
would you take a gamble on him if you're the Eagles?
If he falls to 23, I'd have to think about it. I'm not a huge fan of drafting defense right now, though.
You need an edge.
I know they do. I wouldn't be mad at it. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't think he gets past the Cowboys. All right, we only have a couple of these. Let's rip them real quick. Marshall says, the man who signs the checks and owns the team loves Hurts. So, Sills, all your Hurts slandering narratives are irrelevant. Who going to check Big Jeffrey? That's true. Marsh might be right about that. Marsh says, Howie was in a broom closet when Lane was picked. That was Chip's pick. Yeah, we said that, Marsh. Yeah. Here's Cody. I'm with you. I just don't know why it's a hot topic so much with such an unknown at this point. Talking about Hurts' contract.
They have no intention of extending him.
Cody says, trade up, get downs. Dude's IQ is Hall of Fame caliber. He is pretty damn good, but they're not going to take a safety at the top 10, brother.
He left Bama. He left Bama also.
Cody, you think Howie's taking his first pick, probably a second pick, maybe a future pick, and trading it up to draft a safety? Brother, come on. Howie's not doing all that. To draft a safety? There's no way. My God,
gotta tell you, bro. Gotta tell you, man. I think Philly 500, man. I don't know. He's got a lot of
enough of the cowboy slants, dude. You're like that cowboy helmet's permanent. It's like the ring in Lord of the Rings. The thing is permeating your mind, dude.
Did you see that?
It's like sleeping in over there, dude.
Did you see that great picture I posted with me as a cowboy when I was at the LA Coliseum?
Get me off this show. You're leaving early, aren't you?
Oh, let me go. You're right. I have to go. Right, because I got to do
later, man.
Back. How you doing? All right. So I got to tell you, man, how I read some of this presser yesterday was like Trump says, I run Venezuela now. Without further ado, one of the best content creators with Dallas Cowboys. I see him everywhere. It is Cowboy Nation. What shirt will he have when he comes on? The legendary Mark Holmes is here with us now. What does it say here? You can't fix stupid. Look at that. And without further ado, my man, one of the absolutely great content creators, he is our friend, Philly 500. Joins us now.
What's happening? How are you guys?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Great. Can't complain.
How you feeling, Mark, about your off season so far as a Dallas Cowboy fan? How you feeling about it?
This, here's what's funny is, Philly 500 he'll tell me that, you're always excited about, the off season and everything else. And I'm going to say that's not true because, the Dallas Cowboys over the last 6 years have spent less than anybody else in free agency. They've averaged $3 million of free agents over the last 6 years. And that is one of the reasons why we suck. So I'm trying to understand why people, say, well, you're always excited about the offseason. We don't do shit in the offseason. This offseason has been more work than we've ever done. And the fact that they've been trying to get a linebacker, they haven't been successful, but they're definitely looking like they're moving differently.
Now, Mark, I want you to help me out as I go over here to Philly 500.
Mark was thinking about that comment all week, by the way. He was trying to figure out how to respond.
Mark,
right, Mark? I know.
No, I do feel better than I usually do.
Mark, help me out here on this one here. So Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni were having their presser yesterday. And I heard this. When he was asked the question about the articles that came out in ESPN, Tim McManus, Jeff McClain, Jeremy Fowler, here's the quote. Yeah, for people to say that we don't address our players face-to-face is unfair. We always address our players face-to-face. Now, nowhere in there, Mark, did he dispute what was said in those comments. He was defending Philly that the front office has confronted Jalen Hurts. Boy, is the beginning – are we starting to see the beginning of the end here with the relationship and distancing themselves from Jalen Hurts? He never disputed anything that was in those articles. Retort, please.
Me?
You?
Oh, okay. Here's what I think might be the thoughts here. I mean, they had Carson Wentz and they drafted Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah.
Next year is supposed to be a loaded draft, right?
Yeah.
That there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks. And, you guys were talking about trading A.J. Brown and, getting a couple of twos and packaging them up, get 2 number ones. This may be about replacing Jalen Hurts and starting all over. You went to the 2 Super Bowls with them and things, and it says, we can only run this for so long. I actually look and say that might not be a bad idea. Put him out on blast and say, hey, this is the last go round. You can be replaced and see how he responds.
Philly, your retort, please.
Now have Mark hold Dak Prescott to those same standards. Maybe time has come and passed you by, and it's time to rebuild. It's okay for the Eagles to do it with Jalen Hurts, who's won a Super Bowl, been it too. But a guy like Dak, we don't talk like that. I thought, in truthfulness, I thought his comments were interesting. I don't think they denied the story, and I think that, that's fair. But I don't think the relationship is at an end, or this is the beginning of the end. I think Howie wants to make sure and keep things in-house, and that's where he likes it. So, time will tell. Now, do you want to say, is this a big year for Hurts and his team? Yeah, I think so. With the new offensive coordinator, I think it's a big year for Hurts. I think it's a big year for Nick Sirianni. Nick was awfully quiet.
I'll tell you what, Philly, I think that's a spectacular answer, and I'll say this to you too, Mark. What he just said here, I'm going to agree with you, Philly. I don't think they don't want him to come along. I think they want him to come along. I think they want him to be part of it. However, I do think they're setting this up. Look at the players they're signing. Look at the coaches they're bringing in. And I'll ask you, they said something in that presser, Philly, and Nick said this: we put the best coaches we can possibly put on player development around all of our players. Do you think that applies to Jalen Hurts the last 2 years, that they've put the best coaches around him possible for him and his personal development? I'm not talking about the team development. I'm talking about Hurts' personal development. Do you think they've done him a justice the last 2 years?
No, I do not. I actually think that when, Barkley started going off and they really went heavy in that run game, I think it was, you didn't really hear them talk about developing Hurts and stuff like that. I remember, a few years ago, when Hurts would bail to the right, they would talk about, we got to coach him up on that. He's got to step up. And they would talk about, there's still things that develop, and players don't stop developing just because, they're veterans now and they still can get better. But it sure seemed like they didn't really care whether or not Hurts was developing as a quarterback. They just cared if he was turning the ball over or not. That's the sense I got. And I think Nick, to me, Nick comes off sometimes like he's protecting himself more than anything.
I'm going to go to something that Philly just said, and I'm going to go to coaching with the Cowboys. Has Jerry Jones, since he's not had Jimmy Johnson as the head coach, with all the quarterbacks, Tony Romo and with Dak Prescott, do you think that he's done the best job at developing those quarterbacks with the best coaching that he can find? Because to me, the coaching level in Dallas has never reached the coaching level under Coach Johnson. Now, I think you've had talent like Dez. I think you've had talent like Ezekiel Elliott. I think you've had some really good football players. Sean Lee for a little bit. I think you've had good players in there. But
you had a lot of actually great players.
I think great players. But, Mark, I think where you have fallen short has been that Jerry doesn't like not even good assistant coaches. No. Or you would have kept Sean Payton.
Right. Well, when you think about how typically, this is where things changed up a lot for the Cowboys. Getting Parker is totally different than a normal Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is usually hiring a former player or somebody who's coached for him before because of the familiarity. I will say he's done a better job as far as the offensive coaching staff versus the defensive one. It's kind of like the offense is his, his pet project that he really likes to be involved with. It's kind of like the defense, it's like Buddy Ryan with the offense, just go do some shit over there. But he has definitely let us down, because when you think about Tony Wise, for example, the Cowboys offensive line coach, we didn't exactly draft first-round drafted guys. I mean, you took, Mark Tuinei from the defense as a defensive tackle and made him a tackle. You took Spignowski, who was an undersized guard, and made him a center. You took Googs, who was a tackle, and made him a guard. You took Nate Newton, who was too fat, and became a great guard. So the coaching level took some talent that necessarily was not great and took them to another level. A lot of our coaching staff is just taking great players and just kind of taking what they already had and not getting them to be able to maximize what they do. I will say that Schottenheimer has been great as far as Dak Prescott's development. Since he came aboard, you've seen as a quality control guy and offensive coordinator, now head coach, where he's been able to coach up Dak. The only thing that's really slowed down Dak is injuries more than anything else. And I want to retort back to, where Philly says we should move on from Dak Prescott. I hear what you're saying because it has been 10 years, but I look at it and say, who's closer to being a top 5 quarterback, Dak or Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts, your offense is 28th in passing last year. Your team is talking about limitations. Okay. I talk about it. People want to call me a racist and I'm a piece of shit and everything else. Your own company is talking about limitations with your quarterback.
I didn't say Dak. I didn't say Dak should go. I said you hold Dak to the same standards you hold Jalen Hurts to with the comment that you made, because you don't. And you want to say, oh, Dak's closer to being elite. What is that? What is that, elite? What? He puts up stats?
Yeah, but
he doesn't win playoff games. He doesn't win Super Bowls. Jalen Hurts, regardless of what you say, he wins. He wins.
And listen, and I understand what you're saying here, but Philly, nobody questions Dak Prescott's abilities. They're questioning Hurts's ability in the pocket to play the position
and lead.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that at all. And I think you have to look at where a lot of that comes from. And this is, to me, what this year is going to prove. A lot of people want to say, oh, but it has to do with Jalen Hurts and his inabilities to be able to go out and be a good quarterback. Yet, you look at his winning record, you look at the team wins. That's what I care about. I don't care about whether he throws 45 touchdowns. But hold on. The other thing, about this is, of course, you're going to hear things like that come from coaches who have let the guy down. These coaches, Nick, Patullo, there was always about what the players aren't doing, and it was never about what they are. I believe that when you put good offensive coordinator, good coaches around Jalen Hurts, I believe a lot of this stuff is going to go away. And I think he's going to prove a lot of everybody wrong.
Mark, I want to follow up on what he just said. They don't take into consideration enough of the winning that he's had, the 2 NFC titles, and the winning. All of that is true, Philly, what you just said. Well, then why are they changing? If you have won so much and you have put so many wins on the table, if I had a championship thoroughbred, why would I want to get on something different and get on a different horse? Look at the players you're bringing in. You're bringing West Coast guys in. You hired a West Coast guy. I mean, you're going to do different things. Why?
What are we talking about? Are we talking about a guy putting up elite numbers? Or winning games?
Okay,
the guy went to 2 Super Bowls. So
then why
you want to say that?
Then why'd you fire the entire coaching staff on offense?
Because they stunk. Because we keep losing. We keep losing our good coaches that get us to Super Bowls. Every time they go to a Super Bowl, we lose all our coaches on the offensive side of the ball.
You know what?
We keep doing it.
How elite are those guys that get these head coaching jobs? Gannon just got fired, and Steichen is on the verge of getting fired. Well, here,
Gannon stinks.
Wait,
all right,
but Mark, one hand he tells me they've won and he's not wrong.
Yes, they have.
Well, then why are they changing the entire approach?
So how many times do the Eagles go to a Super Bowl and they lose their coordinator? How many coordinators has this guy had to have?
That's because of the head
Every
coach.
time we have an ounce of success, every time Jalen Hurts goes out, every time Hurts goes out and has a good year and he gets them to the Super Bowl, it's all the coaches that made him such a great quarterback that could do it. And then we lose those coaches, and then we have to start over. And I'm sorry, but a couple of those choices in between have been horrible coaches, and they've been horrendously horrible. I would say Petillo was historically horrible. I'm not trying to tell you that Jalen Hurts is Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying he's some elite throwing quarterback to put up huge stats, but you can't deny that the guy wins. Okay. And yes, a lot of elite team quarterbacks have good teams, but they don't win as much as him. So you guys put bigger, emphasis on the stats. I look at it as wins. If he fits a team that wins, then whatever.
I'm not.
I don't know that the Eagles are.
Mark, I'm not. The Eagles are.
No.
They just fired their entire.
Here's what I want you to understand. Here's what I want you to understand here, because the problem you had last year wasn't Jalen Hurts playing differently than he had before. The problem is people around him weren't playing the same way as well. You had more injuries on your offensive line. Your running game wasn't quite as effective. The tush push, had some crinkles in it that slowed it down. Now he was dealing with situations that, like, say, Joe Burrow is dealing with, or Dak Prescott. And that's where the quarterback is now being questioned. Is he enough to elevate a non-perfect roster?
Here, Philly.
Doesn't need to be. You don't need he doesn't need to be. We don't have a bad roster. We have a roster with a lot of talent. We should be winning.
I'm going to ask you
a lot more than we got
on Kevin Petillo. Then, under what circumstance do you believe that Sean Mannion will be an upgrade to Kevin Petillo? Give me one instance, and to say it can't be any worse is not. I mean,
well, any answer I give you, you're going to say, what's the proof you have there, since he has no experience? So it's kind of a question you're trying to set me up, because no matter what, you're going to say he has no experience.
No. Okay, well, wait. Why did you do the same thing twice if Kevin Petillo sucked?
Well, that's where the blame on, in my opinion, the head coach comes for hiring him.
Okay.
Why was he hired?
I completely
When he got
agree.
hired, we sat here, we said, what do we think of the Petillo signing? Not great. But they're good enough where they can make up for it. They're going to run the ball. Everybody knows they're going to run the ball. They can't stop it. And that was the thought process. And it was flawed.
Okay. Philly. So in the last 2 years, Mark, passing offense has been 18th in passing yards, 19th in attempts, 18th in completions, 15th in touchdown, and 24th in yards per game. And this last year, they were 24th in third down. Help me out here, Philly. In your opinion, help me believe why it's going to get better. In 2021, they were 29th. In 2022, when he ran, they were 6th. In 2023, they were 19th. In 24, they were 29th. This last year, they're 23rd. Help me understand where you see that this offense, offensively, what Hurts elevating the passing game is going to be better if Barkley doesn't return back to form.
Well, wait. You're throwing it if the running back doesn't perform. So if the Eagles are one-dimensional, then Jalen Hurts, I have to answer that. If any team is one-dimensional, you're going to have problems.
Wait, you weren't 24 one-dimensional?
What year? What year were we
24, the Super Bowl year. You were 29th.
You still had a decent running game. What do you mean?
You were
Sanders
number 2.
I think that's Miles Sanders had his best year as a running ball.
The 24 year you won the Super Bowl. You were 29th in passing and 2nd in rushing.
Well, yeah, because the guy ran for historical numbers.
But that's
of course you're not going to pass as much, huh?
Okay. All right, that's not balanced, though, dude. I mean, because
I'm not saying it's balanced. I'm not saying it's balanced. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Okay. What I'm saying, Mark, is a year ago, Barkley was 35th in yards per carry. Okay? He was 35th. That's outside the realm of the 32 starting running backs. Yeah. And I'm to believe that that's going to get back to a top, 14, 15? In 24, if they don't run the ball top 2, they're not winning the Super Bowl because the quarterback was last year he was asked to elevate. Now, I'll say this. Your football team, your Cowboy team, if that Cowboy team is not 10th or 15th in defense, you're not going anywhere either, bro.
No, without a doubt. You got to at least be top 15. Got to at least be there. And that's the urgency of why the Cowboys, all the 30-day visits are pretty much all defensive players. That's why they've been working and trying to find a green dot linebacker. You know, that's the idea and concept of trading up to try and get, you know, one of the best players in defense. They recognize that's going to be our shortcoming. That's our Achilles heel. We've got to do better on that. In the same way, the Eagles are recognizing you have to do better than what you did on the offensive side. Your defense, you know, we are the polar opposite. We got a great offense and a shitty defense. You got a great defense and a shitty offense. And both teams recognize we got to do better.
I don't think Eagle fans think they have a shitty offense. Do you agree, Philly? You don't believe you have a shitty offense, do you?
I believe we don't. I don't believe we have shitty talent on offense. Right. I think we've got the players on offense. I just don't think they played up to standards, and I don't think they were put in the right positions.
Okay. So do you believe the 2026 team is closer to the 2024 team or the 2020 team?
It's yet to be determined.
Okay.
I mean, to me, the key to the offense getting back on track isn't Jalen Hurts. It's Saquon Barkley in that running game.
I can agree with that.
If that opens up, then everything else will open up. But see, where I think that Petula really, I think he was really that bad. And I don't want to put all the blame on him. I'm not trying to do that. But I've been streaming for years. Mark, you've been streaming. I've never been in chats where everybody's calling the plays out beforehand. We all knew what was coming. So did the rest of the league. I don't think that this coach, Nick or Kevin Petula, put him or that offense in the right position. I don't think they had answers. They couldn't make in-game adjustments. Okay. That was the way it was.
So let me get this right, though. Again, just to understand this. Are they building an offense around the quarterback, or are they building an offense around Nick? Because if they're not building the offense around Nick, you're not developing him, because something Howie said yesterday in the meeting and in the presser, I'm not looking to bring Dontavian Wicks in to make Sean Mannion feel better about himself because he coached him in Green Bay. I'm looking to make the Philadelphia Eagles better.
Right.
Well, are you making Jalen Hurts better? Or are you building a football team for something else by bringing all these other components in that does nothing to fit his skill set? Dude, if you're getting further away from 22, when the kid was dynamic, when the guy was dynamic, he was a weapon in 22. I've not seen that guy but sporadic.
And you're talking about him running the ball more. That's what you're talking about.
Him being more balanced.
I personally agree. I would like to see him run the ball more. I like when that element is in the game. I think they got away from it. I think when you pay a quarterback that kind of money, they worry about injuries. I'd like to see it happen more and use him more in those situations. But I also think that there are elements of the game that they've ignored that Hurts can do, and that Hurts has been crying to do. You know, the short passing game, the quick passes, not try to either run the ball or go. Yeah. And these are things that Hurts has cried about, and they've ignored it. And people go and assume that's because he can't do it. And I don't believe that's the case.
Okay. Mark, would you take a gamble on Ruben Bain?
Well, here's the problem for Ruben Baines. You had Schottenheimer preaching from day one. It's all about culture, 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 culture. And the question you have to ask is, with Marquez Bell last weekend being arrested for drug possession and a controlled substance and stuff, although that's already been swept under the rug, is some people may question Ruben Baines with the accident and stuff. I know you pointed out that that Tolbert Baines was a teammate of yours, his uncle, and that you've known the family forever. But with the Cowboys being under the microscope, it's kind of the opposite of what we've been preaching. So are you undermining your coach by signing him? However, playing football, unfortunately or fortunately, trumps everything else.
Silly, would you take a gamble on Ruben Bain?
Yeah. Personally, I would. I don't know a lot about the off the field story, so I can't comment on that.
Well, here, he was in a car accident where someone died
3 months later.
She went into a coma, and he went from one part of the lane of 95 going northbound. It's things like eight lanes, 4 lanes, and he ended up all the way over on the other. Now, there was no field sobriety test, which is insane. I don't know how you get away with that. And on top of that, and by the way, I love the kid. I know the kid a long time. I just love the kid. I love the family. I've known him 40 years. I talk to the kid all the time. He's a really good dude. And I know also that Rosenhaus represents him, and I know that Clint likes him a lot too. If he falls down there to 23, which I doubt,
yes.
I doubt.
I probably would. Yeah.
Because I think the Cowboys would draft him at 13.
I think they will.
Oh, they don't care. Yeah.
You drafted Jalen Carter. Hawk Tua there. After he was falling like crazy.
Cowboys second stadium is a county jail. I mean, what are we talking about?
Wait a second. What do you mean they don't care?
Their second stadium is the county jail.
Oh,
what are you talking about?
All right, Philly, is AJ out of here?
I'm still going to say no. My delusion. I'm going to go delusional. No, I don't think teams are going to give up what the Eagles want.
How about you, Mark? You think he's out of there?
I think he's out of there. But see, here's the thing: you have to get, and listening to content creators and things like that, where they think Devontae Smith is ready to jump in that spot and be the number one. And I'll say Alvin Harper, because I remember how everybody's like, you couldn't convince me that Alvin Harper wasn't a great wide receiver and ready to be a number one. But once he went to Tampa Bay and had to be that number one, you realize that he was a product of everything that he was around. And having A.J. Brown in the same way, George Pickens benefits from having CeeDee Lamb and having Javonte Williams. Having multiple people to go to makes you better. And if that target is gone, you're getting the lion's share of the focus. So be careful what you guys wish for.
Hey, Philly, I heard that Diana Rossini is going to be the new sideline reporter for the Cowboys. Jerry's going to hire her.
Her and Dak may be a pretty crazy combination right there. I'll tell you that.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. Hey, real quick, guys. Philly, for you. O-line, Kenyon Sadiq. I've got my first mock draft. I've got Kenyon Sadiq. Would you take him?
Unless Vegas, if Vegas not there, I would take him.
How about you, Mark? Where are you going in the draft?
If you're listening to Talking Heads, we're all over the place. Some people have us trading up, trying to get Sonny Styles at 6, trading with the Browns, taking their 6th pick and their 36th pick and taking both of our first round picks with them. I think the Cowboys are risk adverse. They've only moved up in the first round one time in the 2000s, and that was to get Morris Claiborne, who was the can't miss player who had a glass jaw and was always injured. I think the Cowboys will let the best player fall to them that's there. A side note, I think that they may be thinking in the back of their heads, maybe we look and say number 20 pick and we still revisit the Max Crosby situation.
Did you see Howie Roseman sitting in his high chair, swinging his feet there at the presser yesterday? Old Nick sitting next to him. Those two guys sitting there just chomping it up. Howie's a professional behind the mic, man. He knows how to handle a crowd there. Hey, Philly, he knows what he's doing there. My friends, I have to roll. And I got to tell you, you guys are spectacular, and I can't thank you guys enough. Hey,
thank you.
Dude, next week, he's going to be in Pittsburgh.
I'll be there Wednesday.
He's going to be – are you good? Hey, can I get you next week when you're in
Yes.
Pittsburgh? Oh, yes, my God.
We will be there in Pittsburgh. Yes. And if you want to do something on Thursday, from the event, we can do that. Yeah,
we will.
From the site.
Absolutely. By the way, we'll do it again there too. Philly, week out from the draft. I can't wait to see you next week, brother. Guys, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
You got it.
Awesome.
That is my guys. Right. Battle Royale, those guys are absolutely always great. I want to go back and get this super chat before we roll. Yes, let's see here. Let me go back and get this. Somebody gave us a super $10. Here it is. My perfect draft first 4 picks would be first round, Kenyon Sadiq, second, guard, or Chase, third pick, safety, fourth pick, O-line. Hurts will win at least 2 more. I think he's talking Super Bowls. Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Bailing this hour here. We will see you tomorrow, though. Going 2, and we will start at 2, and we're getting closer. We'll be a week out from the draft. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you on the flip side.